What's up guys, it's Paraly5er here, we're back again with another guide. Today we're going for the Infused Mantis. As you can see behind me, the big orchid plant. We're going into the Infused Mantis fight with Willow right here. Look at her, she's ready, she's prepared, and she's ready to take on the Infused Mantis. Look, she's looking up to the sky, she's a bit scared. Let's go. Starting off with the build, it's all in this chest right here. What are we going to need? Armor. We're going to go with 2 heavy pieces and 1 medium piece. This boss hurts a lot, so you're going to want as much protection as possible. Fire Ant Helmet, medium piece of armor, does corrosion to the enemy, so this is going to reduce the enemy's defense. This is a very good piece of armor. Bulky, because the sleek effect is useless, it just increases acid damage, and we're not doing any acid damage. Chestplate, we're going with the sleek chestplate of the Mother Demon. Heavy piece of armor, very good defense. It's also going to inflict poison and venom onto the enemy. Next, we have the Ladybug Leggings, another level 9 piece of armor. These are heavy, these are tier 2, which I know some people don't like tier 2 armor. If you want to use tier 3, you can go for Assassin or another piece of Mother Demon or Fire Ant. I like these because they give you increased healing and they have also pretty good defense. Next up, we have weapons. We're going to go with the Salt Morningstar, level 9. By this point, you could have it to level 10 or even level 11 if you're really desperate, but I'm just going to use level 9 here just to try and stay around the mark where everyone should be. And we're going to go to Ladybird Shield. You could use the Fire Ant Shield, but we have a piece of Fire Ant Armor, and they don't stack effects, so we're just going to stick with the Ladybird Shield. You could also bring in the Club of the Mother Demon, which I'm going to do. This isn't needed for the boss fight, but I'm going to bring one in and show you how you would use that if you are going to take that into the fight with you. In terms of trinkets, we have 3 different choices here. The Entomologist badge is going to give you imperfect block, but also increase your attack damage. Now, imperfect block is completely fine here because you're not going to be able to block anyway. That's the trinket I'm going to use. If you're taking a lot of damage and really struggling, we have the Defense badge, which is increasing your damage resist, but does reduce the damage you deal. This is going to make the fight take longer, but you're less likely to get one-shot by the Mantis. So if you're really struggling that, especially on Woe difficulty, then I would recommend this trinket. Finally, the Shield Solidifier, which gives you increased block strength. This is going to make it so that when you are blocking with that shield, because you're not getting parries, it's going to massively increase your block gauge, so you won't get stunned during the fight as much. In terms of heals, we're going to take in some beefy Soothing Syrup here, obviously. All beefy smoothies heal the same. We're going to take in Soothing Syrup. You can take in any smoothie you would like. We're taking in Trickle Regen with the Sticky Soothing Syrup. This is additional regen on top of bandages. They do stack with each other, and the Soothing Syrup actually gives you more regen. We're also taking a meal this time, which I forgot in the Broodmother video, but let's gloss over that. We should take in a meal with us. We're going to take the Spider Slider. If you're struggling again with dying, then take in the Black Ox Burger to increase your defense even more. The meal buff is also better on a tier 3 meal, but I'm going to stick with the tier 2 for the increased crit, again, dealing more damage. Finally, you're going to need the Orchid Mantis Kebab. You would have needed this anyway to get into New Game Plus, so if you somehow haven't got this, I'm very surprised. You've cheated the game. In terms of mutations, we have Barbarian. This is going to increase your club's damage, but you won't be able to parry. That's fine though, we don't need that for this method. We have Meat Shield. This is again, reducing your chances of getting one shot. There's not really any other mutations that are worth running. Coup de Grace, higher crit chance, very useful. Cardio Fan is going to help you with that stamina recovery. Spicy Safety is not necessary here as the Mantis does not deal smashing or stabbing damage. We have Trapper-Peeper stage 3, which increases your crit damage. In terms of any other mutations, you could run Shocking Dismissal or Corporate Kickback. However, we're not parrying here, so these aren't going to proc at all during the fight. You could run Buff Lungs if you don't want to run Trapper-Peeper. That is one mutation, that is a substitute here. Most of the other mutations here aren't really useful because a lot of them rely on you parrying. Sour Sensation, I guess, could be used if you were really desperate, but I'm not a fan of that mutation in the slightest. If you need some distractions, Mom Jeans or Mysterious Stranger will also work, as they will summon things throughout the fight that will distract the boss. You do, however, have to be careful with summons, because if the boss does indeed do something like a scream, it is actually going to trigger their effects because it's going to hit the summons. Even if you manage to block the attacks, if they hit your summons, it'll trigger their special effects that they have on them. Now that we're geared up, let's head into the fight. Okay, as you can see, we're on the medium difficulty right here. Bugs Ignore Players is off, creature health scaling on 1x, damage is on, and of course, stamina drain is on. Those are the main important things when we go into this fight. So here we go, Infused Mantis time. I'm going to play in third person. I find it usually a bit easier with boss fights, especially in big arenas like this. You can see around more. Right, we have forgotten to pop our meal, which is a good start, so let me do that right off the bat. As you can see, we're doing pretty decent damage here. You're going to want to make sure you back up on this attack, because that's going to hurt otherwise. You want to have loads of stamina. Now, she has fresh attack here. It's actually a pretty dangerous buff. We might struggle a bit here. But as you can see, I blocked that attack and the fresh still hit me. And I blocked that attack and the fresh still hit me. This is really broken right now. even if you block attacks, you're still going to get hit by special abilities. This makes it really difficult with certain ones, like the spicy and the sour, because those are going to actually hit through your shield and make those abilities almost impossible. So if it has spicy or sour attacks or sometimes explosives, you can just avoid it outright, honestly, and just reload until you get a good one. The good ones typically are lifesteal or increased defense. Those are the easiest two, in my opinion, for this fight. But this fight is pretty difficult. It's probably going to take you a few tries regardless. Now, you are going to get bleed here, but it really doesn't matter if you are parrying or not, because you will always get bleed in this fight. Most important thing is you avoid that jump, as that jump really hurts in this fight, and it's going to be basically a guaranteed kill if she jumps in front of you, especially on Woe. So you've just got to run out the way when you see that animation pop up. In terms of other attacks, most of them are okay. We just have to try and avoid and have stamina. I messed up there, and I'm dead. If she has Venom, don't even bother. Just reload your save. She's just going to hit Venom through all of her attacks just like she does with Bleed. It's really not worth fighting. We're just going to reload. Okay, we finally got her with Lifesteal. This has taken a few attempts, so let me not mess up against the Mantis now that she has Lifesteal. Make sure you have your shield out at all times, and make sure you keep your stamina. As you can see, you don't want your stamina to get too low, or you're going to die like I did in that Fresh fight, because I let it get too low. It is doable with the Fresh attacks, you just have to be more careful, and I wasn't careful enough at all. So we're just going to block our attacks. As you can see, my block meter filled up there. That's fine, as long as I'm making sure that when it does fill up, I have plenty of stamina, and that I'm, like, you know, either at the end of a combo, or I'm far enough away. Now, the reason we brought in the club is if you do manage to stun her during the fight, you can pull out your club for more damage. This does more damage than the Salt Morningstar. Can't use this throughout the fight, though, as it does indeed... as it's not a shield, you know? So you can't just block all of the damage. You're going to take a lot of damage through it. You could, in theory, swap non-stop between the club and the shield if you were really good at the game, but very difficult to pull off. And I really wouldn't recommend it. Particularly, I know there's a lot of people play it on consoles. It's going to be impossible to pull off on consoles, I'm going to be honest. So we're just going to avoid that. As you can see, we're taking a decent amount of damage here. I'm just going to make sure my smoothie and my bandage are, like, on at all times for the healing from the bleed, because the bleed is what's going to kill you if you, like, basically miss that your health is getting low. I'm just going to pop a smoothie here just to be safe. Got to avoid that jump. Sometimes when she jumps into the tree, she goes diagonally. There's a molar here? Why is there a molar here? Okay, that hurt. Let's avoid her for a second. We're just going to play it safe so that we can heal. I didn't get up in time from being stunned to block her attack. That's fine, though, because we're still alive. I would have been more mad if I'd have died there, to be honest. As you can see, she's at half health. We're chilling right now. Nothing too dangerous, but this is where it starts to get deadly, and I've messed up here, and that's going to cost me a lot of my HP. Hopefully there's enough time to heal. There is. Okay. Screams are annoying, but there's nothing you can do. You can't block the scream in this fight. Very important, by the way, that you collect as many molars as you can, funnily enough, before doing these fights, because you really want to boost your healing and health. That's going to massively reduce the chances of you getting one-shot. As you can see, my character probably only has about 250-ish health right now on this playthrough, because I haven't collected any molars in New Game Plus yet. That's a big mistake, just like the mistakes I'm making right now while I'm yapping this whole video. And I need to heal and stop messing about, because I'm just going to end up getting myself killed if I'm not careful. Right, let me actually focus and finish off this fight. She's jumping. We got to avoid that using the tree. Sometimes she jumps around the tree, because she's the Mantis. She can do what she wants. And that's really fun when that happens, especially on high difficulties, because you just die. And it's probably the most entertaining part of this fight. Yeah, I'm just going to hold my shield here. We're just going to block it. Still get a bleed effect, even though we were literally using our shield. But that's just the way the Mantis works. Probably my biggest pet peeve with this boss fight is you just can't block any of the status debuffs. Which is why if she has Venom, you should just reload, because you will die. A lot of the debuffs, if she has them, you just reload. It's kind of pointless. You need either lifesteal or damage resist. Fresh is doable. Some of the explosive ones are doable, but you might have to use the fungal charm. Yeah, just try and play it safe. Don't do the spicy or sour attacks, because those are, like, nearly impossible. But you will have to face those on higher New Game Pluses. So I guess you'll just have to play safer. This is obviously just on New Game Plus 1. On New Game Plus 2, it's a whole different world. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't made it there yet, but it gets way more difficult. But as you can see here, she's going for a scream. I'm going to cancel that by critting her, which is pretty lucky, honestly. She's getting very weak now, but I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to wait for my stamina to recover. And then just like that, we defeated the Mantis on New Game Plus. That wasn't too bad. I nearly died a few times, but that was more due to me yapping and lacking concentration than actually struggling with the boss fight. I'm going to be honest. Let's see if we have Dissection Expert on one of these mutation loadouts. We should do. There we go. Let's loot her. And you're going to get yourself the Mantis Infused Ooze, which you can indeed use to make those fusion crystals, which are very valuable. It's going to take, I think, 2 of them for a fusion crystal. Yeah, so you're going to need to beat the Mantis 2 times, but she will drop more than 1 ooze on higher difficulties. So that's the full Mantis guide. Here's the loadout yet again without my face on the screen. As you can see, works pretty well. I did mess about a bit and nearly die a few times because I'm very stupid, but it's completely fine. It was not the loadout's fault, it was all my fault for mucking about. If you enjoyed this video and you find it helpful, please leave a like on it. I will see you in the next Grounded video. Have a great rest of your day.